everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be week 2 of my 1 week, 1 shelf challenge. I'm very excited. If you haven't seen it, I'll link down below the previous week, the first week. At the end of it, I picked the next shelf, which is number 30. It's a mystery thriller horror shelf. It's actually a Stephen King shelf. I did this morning, looked at it, so I'm going to show you right now. So number 30, after counting, yep, 1 through 6. This is the one. It's Stephen King. So let's see if there's anything on here I actually want to read. I have read a lot of his books and gotten rid of it, just, you know, throwing it out there. I did start, I don't know why it's still turned. I did read the first book in the Dark Tower, so I could try the second one just to see if I'm really over it. Book 1 was awful. I'm just gonna be honest, it was awful. My edition, I believe, is the unre-edited version, and there's just way too many adverbs. The author did say it sucked, so don't come for me. Otherwise, I have a couple of the shorter ones, which might be... Oh my god, I did forget to turn these around. While I turn around all the ones I had read, so... So yes, I have read this one. This is definitely one of his best ones that I've read. So yeah, I think that's going to be our plan. I'm not going to go for the big ones. I've heard that this one is good, but the ending is awful, which is how I feel about all of his books. So this is my favorite by him, which is the least Stephen King book. So I think we're going to go with book 2 and then another one of those. Oh, the cat. Thank you. Inspecting the books. Okay, so I was not very excited, as you could tell, because Stephen King and I, we have a complicated relationship. I did do a video where I reviewed all of the books that I had read by him, which was like 3.5 years ago. And quite frankly, after doing this video, I realized, you know what? He's not an author I really seem to like. I think the only book that I really enjoyed, I mentioned, was The Long Walk. Other than that, I feel like his endings suck. He's a great writer. I do think he's a little too good sometimes at writing really horrifying anything, sexual trauma, religious trauma, just horrible stuff. He's great at it. But I find that I don't want to read 1,000 pages just to be disappointed, like The Stand or It. It's a lot. So this is kind of a read it or unhaul it for anyone that was disappointed that this was in the challenge all month. This is your week because I have a feeling. I need to decide basically if I want to continue reading his books or not. So we're doing that this week. The first one I'm going to give a shot to is the second book in the Dark Tower series. This is Drawing of the Three. And I read the first one, like I mentioned this morning, really didn't care for it. And I just never wanted to continue. It's been what, 5-6 years, and I'm gonna read the first chapter and then we're gonna decide if I continue or give up on the series. The first chapter, there's a prologue too. It's about 30 pages, so I'm gonna do that right now, and then if I continue, I continue. I mean, the goal of 1 week, 1 shelf is to find favorites compared to read it or unhaul it, which is to, you know, go through as many books as possible and get rid of them if I don't want to read them. So I did make another pile, so if I don't enjoy it, I'll look up summaries and choose something else to read. But I don't know. I feel like this week is going to be all over the place. I'm hoping to find my first 5-star read of the month, of the year. But with Stephen, I don't know. I'll see you in a bit. So I am giving up on the book. I did not make it to chapter 3. I am giving up at page 18. Listen, the prologue is exactly like book 1, meaning that nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. I see the words. I do think I speak English, but I'm not sure when I'm reading this part because understood nothing. Like, who am I even following? The main character is the gunslinger, or is he following the Men in Black? Or, like, is he Roland? And who the fuck is Jake? I don't know what's going on, and I don't really care. Chapter 1 made more sense, but I put it down like 5 pages into it because the main character wakes up on a beach and he has no idea what's going on. He's being attacked by a monster. He's missing fingers and then toes, and like he's very concerned about his gun. And like I put it down because there's a scene where he's just like, oh, it's okay, I lost fingers on my right hand when I'm jerking off the left one, so it's fine. And I was like, you know what? No. So I'm just done. It's okay. He's not an author for me. At least this series is not for me. So the good news is that I'll be able to get rid of the whole series, moving on with my life. And I am giving up on a series, which is one of my challenges this year, to finish or give up on series. So bittersweet, but it's happening. And then I did look at what all of these books were about, and I decided that the one that sounds the most appealing to me is this one, which is The Dead Zone, which is on the chunkier side. There's like 550 pages, but I'm gonna try the first chapter. There's a prologue, I did look, and the prologue and first chapter, it's 60 pages. So I'm gonna see you tonight. I'm not gonna read the whole thing right now, but we'll see. We'll see. The topic seemed more interesting. Basically, a man, as a kid, he hit his head, and then later on, he's in an accident later as an adult, and he's in a coma for like 4.5 years, and then he kind of has like premonition, like he kind of can tell what's gonna happen or what's happening, and like, cool. I'll update you, but if the first chapter I still don't like it, I have these other ones. I have a full shelf, so we're gonna do this all week. I am hoping I'm gonna like one though, because I do remember liking, like I said, The Long Walk, which is really his least Stephen King book, but I did like Pet Sematary. And like, I was enjoying The Stand at times, but not every moment. It was too long. Oh my god, the cat. Where the... Let me show you where the cat is. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? This is why I keep this room closed off, because she's dangerous. She's an adorable little monster. You're driving me absolutely cuckoo 24/7. So I'm gonna go ahead and do things and read the first chapter. I'll update you tonight, but yes, isn't she pretty? It's like having a child. Why do you drive me cuckoo like this? Yeah, now you're all adorable, because you know you're in trouble. Quick update. I've read the first chapter and the prologue, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. What can I say? I like to prove myself wrong. I'm okay with this, though. I would much rather read something I'm enjoying, so hopefully I'll read the whole thing. I do have to give it to Stephen King. He did manage to include something sexual in both first chapter of the 2 books that I've read today, so never doubted you, King. But I like his writing, so we're gonna keep going and we're gonna hope for the best. Update number 2, we are day 4 or 5. I'm flying through this book. I am past the halfway point. I am at chapter 16, so page 304, and I'm still really enjoying it. This is not how I thought this vlog was going to go, but I'm okay with it. I would much rather read books that I'm enjoying rather than like constantly forcing myself to attempt another book that I don't think I'm gonna like, you know. Sometimes it's fun and I'm gonna do this, you know, all year long with the read it or unhaul it, but for this challenge I'm still trying to find books that I like. So I'm very wary of the ending because it's Stephen King, but so far so good. There's nothing, I mean, there is a killer on the go that is raping and then murdering women from the age of like 9 to like 70 something, so like obviously it's still, you know, horrifying, but it's not that bad, you know. I'm enjoying it. That's what matters. The writing flows really nicely. Yeah, zero complaint. I'm enjoying it. So far, I would say it's probably at least a 3.5. I feel like I'm not willing to give it like 4+ right now, just because, again, the ending. We'll see what happens. But I wanted to organize my books a little bit because I filmed my book haul. You will have seen it before this video goes up. So I need to put them in the cabinet because if we remember, the orange paper right here is the bonus shelf, which is the cabinet. So for anyone who doesn't know, basically every book that I've been buying throughout the year, I put them in this cabinet instead for different challenges. It's a long story. But yes, right now, there's just the month of January. I have a pile for February. I'm trying to keep them somewhat organized because I think that later on this year, I'm going to do a full month just reading books from there. So I want to, you know, kind of organize them. It makes sense in my head. So like, I have this pile just in case, but I don't think I'm going to need it. I think I'm just going to read this all week. Oh, before I do that, I also wanted to mention I just finished the audiobook What My Bones Know, which is a nonfiction about complex PTSD. It was great. Horrifying, obviously. The author, her childhood, awful. I do have to say I like the first 3 quarters more than the last quarter. But yeah, I don't really want to give it a rating. I hate rating these kind of memoirs because who am I to judge about your life? Anyway, just wanted to throw it out there if you're looking for a recommendation. It was good. So let's get to work.
I want you to know how I feel. Though I may say it, I just think that I might have to spell it out for you. So listen here. I want this all to be crystal clear. Oh, I care about you.
Okay, so quickly, I have all my nonfiction, which I have been buying a lot, weirdly enough. I mean, to be fair, my last book haul was weird if you've seen it. Sci-fi, fantasy, mystery, thriller, horror. This is kind of the everything else, to be honest. I have contemporary historical fiction. I don't even know what to call this one. The ones from last month that I really, really want to read soon. And then classics, especially this one with that weird, really weird size. So this makes sense. Also, I need to put this in my unhaul pile because no, I don't even want to wait until the end of the week. This is already going bye-bye in here. And let me just grab the rest of the series. So I have this one. These can stay for now. These two, I believe. Yeah. Whoops. Dropping everything. I feel like everything else I have by him is huge, so I kept the small ones for this challenge of this week. But yes, that is 4 books that can go out of my collection. I probably won't have time to read these this week, but let me know if you've enjoyed them because I might try more of his books now. I'm still wary. We'll see. I think it is going to depend on the ending of the book I'm currently reading. Sorry for the lighting. I just wanted to update you so I can finish editing this video. Okay, I finished it and it was good. Like, I would say that, you know how there are like airport kind of books? This is a good one. It was very readable and I found myself reaching for it. If you don't know, I've been in the middle of like literally 15 books. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know what to read. I haven't found, my first 5-star to read of the year. And while this was not 5 stars, I would be excited that it was time to read, which just for that, I'm super grateful for it. I feel like this is one of the most like mild books that I've read by him. It becomes more and more serious. Like I was saying, how he was like seeing what was going to happen. And it becomes a little bit like a political intrigue, which I wasn't expecting, but it was fine. It was fine. The ending was not disappointing, which we're grateful for it, but I don't feel like it's very memorable and like very Stephen King-esque. So not bad. I did put one post-it because I've been joking, but not really, that there's always some like weird sexual comments in his books. And I always get a few people being like, what do you mean? Which, I mean, if you've read it, I shouldn't have to say anything. But for example, and this one is a mild one for him, but still. In my edition, it's at page 479. And you're just basically following a 17-year-old who discovered the pleasure of reading. And then it says, like a boy who has just been initiated into the pleasure of sex by an older woman. So rape, that's what we're talking about. Okay, that's pleasant. So like, why? And it comes out of nowhere. It has nothing to do with what was going on. Anyway, yeah, it is what it is. I don't think I'm changing my mind about Stephen King in general. This is probably like a 3.5 stars. I'm going to round it down to 3 on Goodreads. But I will not go ahead and get rid of all of the books that I have by him. I am willing to give them a shot. I'm still doing my Read It or Unhaul It challenge all year long. So most likely I will eventually pick one of his books and I will happily read the first chapter before getting rid of it. Or not. So that's that. I'm happy about it. Now, I remembered to bring the jar so I can pick my next week. So you can read the same genre if you want to. I will be choosing the books tomorrow for me, but in the next video. So, oh, no. I'm starting to resent classics so badly. Purple is classics. So $39.41, which I don't know which one that is, but because it's two, I know for a fact that one of them contains War and Peace, which we have to laugh. I'm not reading War and Peace. But thinking without knowing what's on there, I know that there's one that contains the books of like Sherlock Holmes, which a few people have been mentioning that I should try since I've been trying to find good mystery thrillers. So maybe I can read the first story, like it's a combined edition, so maybe the first one I'll figure out tomorrow. But that makes me feel a little less stressed because every time I see purple now, I'm like, no. So that's gonna be it for my 1 week, 1 shelf number 2. I feel this week was very to the point, very chill, which I'm grateful for. I mean, again, this wasn't a favorite, but I was really looking forward to reading it, which is so nice. Like, I haven't felt like that this year so far, I feel like. So let's attempt it again next week. I can't believe that there are only 2 purple papers. Why did I pick the purple one? And why the one with War and Peace?